Listen, Will, I apologize if you don't like any part of this story.
Uh-oh. This is when you know it's real.
Yeah.
But listen, you just tell your stories, right? So I was doing stand-up at the Boston Comedy Club. A guy named David Tochterman saw me, who worked for Will, and he said, I think Will would like you. And he was like, we want to do a development deal out at Overbrook. So why don't you meet Will and see if you guys get along? If you do, you can do a sitcom. So now I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Will since a kid. Like I'm talking. I legit listened to his music. Nightmare on My Street. I legit listened to his
Nightmare.
music. He was a
on My Street. Yes.
I loved it. So, and I watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with my dad every Monday night. Like, I'm a fan. When he made it into movies, that's my guy. I rooted for him. I'm like, yes, we did it, Will.
Yeah.
So he, so I go out to the studio. It's I think the Hit Factory or something up on Upper West Side, and they got two folding chairs in the middle of a dance studio, and I know, right? And so they go sit in one of these. Will be in a second, and Will comes in. I'm talking a ball of energy. You know Will. He's a hurricane of personality.
Yes.
First thing he said to me is one love, gave me dapped me up, and then I'm off to the races. I love hip hop. Okay, so I'm off to the races. I know everything about Tupac, Biggie. I'm like going off. I had the big time. Juvenile was blowing up at the time, so I had a joke about Juvenile. Like I'm just running everything about hip hop. I'm like, and Will's like, yeah, man, and I'm like, I love you, and I love black people. You're black, like, and he's like, yeah.
What do I have to say here?
Jesus Christ. So he goes, man, and it's me talking for like 30 minutes, and then he goes, I like you. I go, I like you. And he goes, what are you doing tonight? And I go, nothing. He goes, let's go to the movies. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then he just leaves. And I was like,
man,
cool.
Are we really going to the movies or not?
Yeah. And then someone comes in and goes, we'll meet you at Planet Hollywood at 6 o'clock. And so I was like, okay. So I get in the car. I call my dad. I go, he goes, how'd it go? I go, great. I go, I think he likes me. He's really? He goes, yeah, we're going to the movies. My dad's like, huh? He goes, like on a date? And I go, no, like what? Just you and him. And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, you didn't ask any questions? I was like,
no, it's Will Smith.
It's Will Smith. We're going to the movies. And my dad goes, oh, buddy, I think he wants to have sex with you. I'm like, what? And he goes,
and your dad is not in Hollywood?
Not at
okay, gotcha.
all. He goes, it's called the casting couch.
Yeah.
And he goes,
he's telling you.
And he goes, and these movie stars, it's very common knowledge, these movie stars get so bored of having sex with beautiful women.
Right.
The only thing that turns them on is the look on a young guy's face when they turn him. And I go, are you being serious, Dad? And he goes, oh, I don't know. What's more likely? The fact that you're so talented that the biggest movie star in the world wants to make a sick out of you? Or that he's tired of having sex with women? And I was like, oh, Dad, what do I do? What do I do?
Stop.
I'm like, yeah, I'm 10 minutes out. So my dad goes, you show up, buddy. You show up, for real. He goes, I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
He goes, you're my only son. I don't want to send you into war unprepared. So I show up to Planet Hollywood at 6 p.m. And even when I get to Planet Hollywood, this is a weird place to see a movie. Is this a prank?
Right.
I go to the lady. I says, I'm here for Will Smith. She's like, oh, in the back. I'm like, shut up.
Right.
It's the mannequin. It's the mannequin. Men in black. And I'm like, no, the actual Will Smith. And she looks at me and she goes, buddy, movie stars don't come to Planet Hollywood. Like, you're not going to. Harvey Keitel isn't here to have dinner. Movie stars. And I'm like, yeah, that does seem weird. I go, I'm supposed to see a movie?
So you thought they had the wax figure like the mannequin back, like you know how they have.
I go, is there a movie theater here? And she goes, no, we don't have a movie theater at Planet Hollywood. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, I guess I'll just wait. She goes, yeah, so I'm waiting. And then, as you know, a big dude, about 6'7", literally peeks his head out of a corner of a door, comes out of a corner, named Charlie Mack. And Charlie Mack says, you Bert? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, downstairs. And I'm like, I gotta have sex with this guy too. Like, this is a big dude. Like, should I let him go first, maybe? And,
and you know, on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that was Charlie that was spinning him on his head. So you're like, oh my God, is he gonna spin me?
So then he takes me downstairs to a room probably as big as this with curtains all around and a folding table on one side. And in it are 10 other black dudes all just staring down. Now, you guys don't know what it's like when you're a white guy and you're the minority. You don't make a lot of eye contact. You kind of just like, hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? And just, I'm doing this, and no one's really talking to me, and they're talking to each other, and I don't really know anyone. All I'm thinking is, This is going to be 13 black guys I got to have sex with.
Right,
It's going to be Charlie Mack. I'm sure he's bringing Jazzy Jeff. Right. Will Smith. He's 10. This is going to be a long night. This is going to be a long night for me.
Right. Is this how I get into business?
So this is a casting couch that's going to be long. Sure enough, Will Smith comes down on time, and he's like, hey. He goes, guys, this is the guy I was telling you about. This is Bert. And I was like, here we go.
Yeah, man.
And then the curtains behind me open up, and it reveals a private movie theater. And Will looks at me, and he goes, hey, man, grab a seat. Grab me 2 seats. I'll get you a drink. What do you want to drink? And I was like, I don't know, whatever you are. And he was like, Long Island iced tea. He's like, you like shrimp? I was like, yeah. He goes, they have great shrimp. I was like, okay. So we ate shrimp and drank Long Island iced teas and watched American Pie and watched the whole movie. And the whole time I'm like, this is nothing what my dad said it was going to be. This is just awesome. This is everything you'd want it to be. Will's got his huge laugh next to me. It's a great movie. It's American Pie, right? It's American Pie. We watch him have sex with a pie. All of us in the room. It's awesome, right? And then the movie ends, and he goes, so what did you think? And I said, it was great. And he goes, no, what about the room? I said, what do you mean about the room? He goes, the guys in the room. I was like, are there black dudes?
Right.
And he goes, no. He goes, you said you were a hip-hop fan. Look around. That's Kool Moe Dee.
Oh,
That's
no.
Biz Markie. He had brought all the stars of hip-hop. He had called them up and had them come down to meet me. And I'm like, I could have had sex with Biz Markie.
I could have been just a friend.
What are you saying? Just a friend.
Now, do you have your 2 daughters? Are they sports fans? 2
Well,
daughters?
yeah, I got girls, Dave. And they do girly things, Dave. So there's a lot of tea parties and just girl crap, Dave, that I have to pretend to enjoy.
Right.
I want some singing kids. That Will Smith messed it up for everybody.
That's
Kids singing and dancing. The guy's already taken parts from me. Now his kids are taking parts from my kids.
see.
I got it.
That's bad parenting.
It's horrible. What the hell? Will Smith, don't you have enough? Damn you, Will Smith.
To my knees, while you're waiting for my love. So to know, are you with me now? Are you with me now, my love? 'Cause I wanna know, are you with me now?
Jada had invited me to dinner with her and Will Smith, and I thought, oh, this is it. I'm about to make it. And
That is pretty big.
and I wore my best dress from China, and a button popped off at dinner. And they asked me, Jada said, what are you doing tomorrow? We off work, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, well, I got me a Groupon to go on this swamp tour, so that's what I'm doing. She said, who you going with? You going all by yourself? I said, yeah, I'm going all by myself, girl. I ain't got no friends out here in New Orleans. She said, well, maybe Will and I go with you. And I'm like, yeah, right. So the next day comes about, and I smoke a whole bunch of weed because... Because the doctor told me to. The doctor told me to. And also because I thought it would be super cool to be on the swamp and be high, and like the alligators would be talking to me, and the birds would be singing, and the raccoons would wave. Like it'd be like I'm in a Disney movie, you know?
Yeah, like Jon Favreau, yeah.
Like, it'd be amazing. And so I'm high as a kite, right? I'm sitting in my hotel room, and then I get a phone call, and it's Jada. And I didn't think she was really gonna call me, and then she called me, she goes, Tiffany, you still going on that swamp tour? I said, yeah, I'm gonna leave in about an hour. And she said, okay, cool, Will and I are going with you. I was like, what? She's like, yeah. I said, okay, cool, since y'all got dinner last night, I'm gonna get y'all Groupons. Don't worry, everything on me.
That seems fair.
Yeah, that's fair. So then she says, okay, meet us at our hotel. So I get in, so I eat a lot of bread and I do some jumping jacks to try to sober up. And then I jump in my $20 a day rental, okay? And I drive over to their hotel, and I'm starting to hand the keys to the valet because I'm thinking I'm jumping in the SUV with them and all their security. I'm gonna feel all presidential, you know, black money.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, Will comes running out of the hotel, jumps in the back seat of my little $20 a day rental, and he's like, whoa, it's been years since I've been in a regular car. And I'm like, And then Jada gets in and she goes, oh, it doesn't have tinted windows. I don't know if I feel safe. And I'm like, really, Jada? You from Baltimore, bitch. So then, look, so the next day, look, so Will tells me, go, right? So I start driving, but in my mind, I'm driving like this. I'm leaning back, driving like this, in my mind. But Jada the next day said I was on the steering wheel like this. And I said, of course I was, Jada, because all I could think to myself is, Tiffany, you need to be as careful as possible. You don't want to be the bitch on TMZ that killed the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Definitely not.
That's $280 million in the backseat of a $20 a day rental. You gotta be careful.
Wow.
So we pull up to the swamp tour, right?
I almost forgot about the swamp tour. That's right, there's a swamp tour.
Yeah, so we pull up and it's a lot of white people, a lot.
Oh, they're the worst.
A lot. No, they the best.
Oh.
You know, I'm white, right? I'm white on paper. That's a whole other story. Anyway.
So you pull up and there's the white people in the
There's
swamp.
a lot of white people on the swamp, and it's a Cajun swamp tour, and Jada's looking, and she goes, Tiffany, what is going on here? Why is there so many people? And I said, Jada, they probably all got Groupons. And she said, Tiffany, what the is a Groupon?
Oh, wow. She didn't know, yeah.
And I said, Jada, what do you think a Groupon is? She said, I thought it meant you had a boat that you could take a group of people on. And I was like, Jada, I got a $20 a day rental car. Why would I have my own boat? Got a discount ticket to get on the swamp. We about to have $66 worth of fun, girl.
So did she go?
So she was complaining at first, like, I don't want to get on it. I don't want to do this. This is going to be crazy. They're going to be acting crazy. And I said, Jada, you with me. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. Ain't nobody finna mess with us. We about to get on this swamp. We about to have a good time. And we going to see the alligators today. And she was like, okay. And Will was like, yeah, why would you invite me on the swamp tour if I can't go on the swamp tour? Like, so we go on the tour. We go, right? We go to the boat, and the boat is full of people. And as we walk on, I walk on first, and everybody start clapping and cheering. And I'm like, thank you. Yes.
In the darkness of the night, a flicker starts to glow. A beacon in the shadows, a light that starts to flow. Illuminating pathways where once there was despair. In the depths of obscurity, hope begins to flare. Like a flame in the wind, I ignite from within. Casting rays of brilliance, banishing the din. With each step I take, I brighten up the way. In the realm of shadows, I become the day. I'm the light in the darkness, the spark in the night. Guiding lost souls towards the morning light. Through the tunnels of uncertainty, I'll be the guide. For I am the bearer of hope, in me dreams reside. In the labyrinth of life, where shadows dance and play, I'm the ray of sunshine, turning night into day. With every glimmer I cast, I unveil the unseen. In the tapestry of existence, I'm the golden sheen. From the darkest corners to the highest peak, I'm the radiant glow that even shadows seek. With every flicker, every beam I emit, I dispel the darkness, I never submit. I'm the light in the darkness, the spark in the night. Guiding lost souls towards the morning light. Through the tunnels of uncertainty, I'll be the guide. For I am the bearer of hope, in me dreams reside. In the symphony of life, I'm the crescendo's rise. In the canvas of the universe, I paint the skies. So let the darkness tremble, let the shadows flee. For in the heart of radiance, I'll always be. I'm the light in the darkness, the spark in the night. Guiding lost souls towards the morning light.
I brought them. And they're like, no, not you, not you. Will, Jada, Will, Jada. And they were all like cheering and stuff. And then Will sits down and this really drunk guy comes out. He goes, hey, Will, what part of Philadelphia are you from? And he goes, West Philadelphia. He goes, ah, born and raised, right? Playgrounds. Like that. And Will's like, yeah, yeah. And he's like, can I get a picture? And then the girl jumps up and says, can she get a picture? And somebody else said, can they get a picture? And then Will stands up and goes, look, everybody. This isn't the Will Smith tour. This is the Cajun Swamp tour. So let's just have a good time, see what we can see, learn what we can learn. And at the end of the tour, maybe we all take some pictures with you guys if we're in the mood. Is that all right with you guys? And everybody's like, yeah, yeah. Woo. And I was like, this is messed up. He didn't even say nothing funny. They just cheering for him because he got money. We here on a Groupon.
So then they did as Will told them.
So they did as he told them. They didn't bother us. We went on the tour. We enjoyed it. We learned all this stuff. Will leans over to me. He crosses his leg like this, right? Because this is how rich men sit so their balls can hang. This how rich men sit. And he was like, hey, Tiffany, I'm going to have to get me one of these. I was like, what, one of these ferry boats? He's like, nah, a swamp. I was like, you going to buy a whole ecosystem?